Would you guys like, how much longer do you have left of school? Let's start with that. I know you're counting.
Come on.
Yeah, Friday. Friday we're done.
Friday, you're done. Okay, so this would be kind of our last meeting then, huh?
Yeah. So this should be it, I think, for the school year.
Got it. Good. Then let's do a quick wrap up of let's just do the co-planning, co-instructing, and co-assessing. So thoughts for what went great this year and what you guys might want to do because you're together in the fall again, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So what did you like most about planning together and what might you like to tweak for the fall? I'll let each of you just give me a statement there.
Well, I think it's going to change a lot because we will have taught the course.
Yeah. Yes.
So I think we'll be able to co-plan better because a lot of the co-planning was, quite honestly, at nighttime I'm texting him. We're
Yeah.
co-planning that way because you just, you can go a week or 2 weeks at a time, but when you're trying to
Figure out everything, yeah.
the daily
New material.
activities, and so I would text him and he'd text me back and give me his ideas, and so it should be a lot better
It should be
next
a little-
year.
yeah.
Because we've taught it. So I think that
Well, that's
I
good.
think-
And then you can see why teams need to stay together over time because then you do have less co-planning. Yeah, great.
right. So
And-
we know the material, so it should be better.
I think
So is
actually
there
having
any-
these 10.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think having these 10 minutes in the morning has helped a lot too.
Mhm.
Just getting new, fresh ideas
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I think that was good for having once a week, having some time to plan.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd love to have you both do, and you can either do it now or in writing later, whatever is your style, would be to set a goal for planning in the fall. Like TJ, I'm making this up, doesn't have to be your goal. Might be that you'd like to lead one lesson once a week. And Lisa, yours might be that you would like to do more planning in the gifted realm or whatever. I don't care. I'm just giving you suggestions. Maybe yours is TJ doing more deep reading assessment with kids or writing it out. I don't care, but I would love that to be kind of our ending culminating activity with both of you. So you both know, hey, we set this goal in the fall. Let's make sure we honor that goal, that you're both doing something to kind of stretch what good stuff you've already done. Does that make sense? Okay, great.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
let's talk
good.
about let's talk about co-instructing. I know you both are extremely comfortable. I don't think I've ever seen a team. We even laugh. We have video of you guys getting closer and closer to each other and talking more in parity. As we start to analyze, you don't realize how you started versus where you are today. Sounds crazy, but those are the things we, as researchers, we wanted to notice so we can tell other teams, don't expect to be comfortable, even though you liked each other. You both had the same mission and philosophy. You both were willing to do this. That doesn't necessarily mean you just come in and are comfortable. And so we see that level being there already. But what about co-instructing for next year? So what went well this year, and what are some things you're like, let's not mess that up, but let's something new you might want to do to stretch yourself? Do you have any thoughts there?
Well, I wouldn't mind doing a little bit more of the U. I really
That's
liked
exactly
it.
what I was going to say. I would say we need to incorporate that a little bit more.
Yeah,
Um,
we like that quite a bit.
yeah.
It's just, we did it
New material.
once or twice maybe, and that was it.
Yeah, a
So,
lot of it was just new material. So
New
we were
material.
just trying to figure out
what to do
what
with
to
it.
do.
Mhm, right, and you don't know how long it'll take to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because some of the material I've taught for years, but I haven't taught it to this group, and so you just don't know how long it will take.
Yeah, especially with this
Yeah.
mix of class.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
So-
definitely exploring the U.
So the you you're talking about, I think I want to just put it into the words of co-teaching. We're both station teaching as well as parallel teaching, or are you talking about just stations?
It was station, but then we would bring it back to be more parallel where, okay, you get this half questions, I get this half of questions, and we come back and share what we both groups found.
Uh-huh.
I think we did it with bleachers.
Yeah.
was the more successful type.
And then it's a little more individualized, and so some smaller group, and so the kids who are really shy would speak up
And then
in a
when
smaller group.
and then we go to a bigger group and they know they have the right answers, so they're more applicable of
Mhm.
raising their hand and participating.
Perfect. Good. Okay. Well, so you were really talking about station teaching. One you may try next year more, and I don't think you're ready to try it this year, is parallel teaching, where you do the same concept of the you are in two separate rooms, but you both teach the whole entire lesson.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So I would do the whole chapter of Bleachers, and you would do the whole chapter of Bleachers with very different purposes. Maybe yours is more hands-on, TJ, and out on the football field, and Lisa, yours is more for those kids who like the arts and the music, and you kind of change it up. So think about the concept you're talking about, the you, and you like that structure in your room of trying two different targets for next year might be something to think about. So keep thinking about that, and that helps us have an entry point for the fall to kind of push you guys to try to do more of that now that you both know the content, which makes sense. You really weren't ready for that, and it's interesting. You picked the two models that we say teams are most ready for in year one, so we're going to push you to year two. You also did some alternative teaching. I would just love a quick reflection. Was that helpful when you either pre-taught or retaught something in small groups?
Yeah, I think it was
I think so.
helpful. I think some of the kids who were more reluctant to even do anything, it was still tough to get them to that reteaching, because I think that's who we were trying to reach out to most, and it was just difficult that way, just because being reluctant to want to do anything. But I think for some of the slower kids, it definitely helped, especially with the TP cast when we were going over it again. I thought that helped a lot.
That was good. Yeah.
So you hit the magic bullet, TJ, which is something maybe Jen and I can spend some time to contribute with. Which are those kids who lack motivation? It seems to be the theme right now across the country. And so one of the things I would love for both of you to think about, one of my goals might be to give you for instruction, is thinking more about technology. And how do you do more and use that more? And is that a motivating factor that is missing for those kids? Because I know you did a lot with it, but again, how do we interweave that so that it's a Monday through Friday thing instead of, oh, now we're bringing out the technology? So that may be food for thought for the summer is, are there some things out there? And I don't know if that's a fair assessment, but it's the one that we talked about using versus talking about infusing. Does that make sense?
And, for the one boy who had his head down all the time, maybe if we'd had more on the computers, he would have paid attention and cared. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
He's just a rough one who has a tough home life, who, if stuff's going good at home, classroom's good. If it's tough at home, it doesn't matter what you throw at him. He's just, I'm here to sleep.
And I finally, because I talked to his mom and she wanted him, I found out he was close to his points and close to getting kicked out of school, and he finally did by another teacher, but I wasn't going to do that because you're going to stay in school. And I finally just based it on points. I was satisfied that. So if you are paying attention, and I told the kids, if you're paying attention, your head's up, you're participating, you're going to get 15 or 10 points today. And if your head's down, you're going to get a 0. And that's just what we're doing.
And as a department, we were talking more about using more of those behavior assessments to where, like, every 2 weeks it's 20 points. And I'd have a check where, oh, he had his head down today. Oh, he had this, he missed those points. He didn't have his pencil today, so he lost those points. So as a department, we're trying to work more co-teaching because we have a lot of co-teaching next year. I think everyone has multiple co-teaching.
Yeah. So, and I mean, his mom said the grade would matter because he had to keep certain grades. So, I don't know, but that's just what I did.
Yeah.
So.
I thought it worked for a while.
I thought, and then towards the end it seemed like, because I told him, I said, some of you might be getting a little close, and I wouldn't want to retake this class, so you might want to rethink your strategy and putting your head down today and keep it up. Because, we had talked about, we could have a standing desk for him, but I think he would have just exploded.
Yep.
And we could take him out, one of us out to walk him around the school, but the problem is, then he wouldn't have been here, or I wouldn't have been here for the rest of the kids. And his was definitely just oppositional defiance. So.
Well, that might
and
be
then
a
you
good
get more
target
attention.
Yeah, that might be a good target for our fall session too, is to try to make sure we address motivation hard for those kids that you find in the first week of school that aren't motivated. Let's make that kind of a priority so that we, instead of trying to fix it at the end, we're kind of a little more proactive in thinking about that. Not because you guys weren't, but again, that would give us kind of a role. And I think that's a theme Jen and I need to work on a little bit over the summer anyway. Seems to be a new theme. Teachers are finding ways to plan creatively. They're in the room together, but those kids who are just totally passive aggressive, they're really struggling with. So let's talk about the last topic, because I know you only have a couple more. You only have a couple more minutes. Let's talk about evaluation, and evaluation in two ways. Everybody finishing the semester, besides maybe Mr. Motivational Issues, passing. And what do you
I
need
think
to do
even
Yeah.
he's
differently, you
passing.
think,
Yeah,
to
he's passing
evaluate?
too. Everybody's passing.
Yay, good, good, good. And evaluation of learning, would you like to target for next year, or do you think you did really well this year?
Well, one thing we're looking at as an entire department, because we're redoing our curriculum, is we kind of want to make sure that in each grade level we have the same percentage or weight for quizzes and tests and homework. So, because I don't want your A to be because you got so many participation points for behaving, because you should do that anyway. You know what I mean? So we're kind of looking and realigning that just to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah. Graded equally across the board.
Graded equally across the board, yeah. So we're kind of looking at that. I thought the assignments that we let them redo, that was, because we
That
did some
worked
of that,
all right.
I thought
Yeah.
it worked out well.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
I think when we split up, when we were doing testing, I thought that worked well.
And the testing, and it was interesting because some of the kids who maybe normally had in their accommodation to have it read, they wanted to stay here, and then other kids who didn't wanted to go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to see who went and who didn't.
So, and then one boy, he was real smart
So-
because on one test I had 4 choices, 4 answer choices, and he and I said, if you go in the other group, he'll eliminate one for you. Well, he was thinking, he's like, oh, I want to go in that group and hear which one is it.
Yeah.
So that was.
I love it. That's good.
He was-
Good. Well, it sounds like you guys really matured at that level beyond what I expected, to be honest. Usually that's something we tackle in year 2 or 3 with teams. So you should feel really good. I mean, in general, you should feel great. We see you as like a 3rd-year team in your 1st year. And we'd love to tell you we'd like to take credit for this 10 minutes of coaching. But we know it's because the 2 of you were willing to change and grow. So we know it's really you guys that did it. So we appreciate that. So is there anything with evaluation or assessment that you'd like to do better next year? And then we'll use that to wrap us up today, because I know you have kids coming in.
Well, I think, with assessment, I thought it worked well, especially for presentations. When I graded one, he graded one.
I think that worked really well for presentations.
So I'd kind of like to, with assessment for writing, figure out a part that he can grade so he can see the writing and just a little bit more. Part of, it was me not giving up the reins because,
Well, it's, you want to grade evenly throughout.
you want to grade evenly, so we'll just have to figure that. And part of it's too, you run out of time, and I don't have time just to think of how we're going to grade. I've just got to get these papers graded. So anyway.
So the last thing I would just encourage you both to do is meet once over the summer if you get a chance to do something totally not related to school. I don't care if it's lunch out, if it's, a conference you can go to together for fun and, but I think part of what you want to make sure is you maintain that relationship over the summer. So when you walk in the fall,
That sounds good.
you don't have to catch each
We
other
can do
about
that.
life. And you're then more
You're freezing us a little bit.
subject area stuff. And then it sounds like you've got good differentiation for the fall.
I think you're frozen.
Lisa, you're already thinking about the academics. Oh, am I back?
Did she give you a?
See if it catches up.
Hello, am I there?
Maybe.
Maybe. I think you're frozen. I'll text. I'll put your
Yeah,
face.
I'm here. I see you guys. I hear you.
She's
Do
talking.
you hear me?
You guys are going to need a lit book, so if you want to go ahead and grab one of the new lit books.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can hear you now.
All right.
So, but
Well,
it's just
it
like
sounds
you
may
cut
have
out.
to go, so I'm gonna let you go.
So we did want to. Yeah, I'll email you about possibly talking to the group of 12 co-teachers in the fall, if that's a possibility.
Can you hear me now? I was just saying you're a great team, and I can't wait to hear where you're gonna go next year. I know you're gonna go.
Yeah, we can hear you. Now you're out. So, okay, well, we'll go. So.
Absolutely. Through Debbie Connect, I'd be happy to train you all, and then we'll talk about maybe what kind of coaching we could do. Absolutely.